Oh, would you look at the time? It's banlist time. Hey guys, it's Tom Bucks. Thanks for tuning into MST.TV. Apologies for the intro skit. That was pretty bad. I'm sorry, but now I got Sharpie all over my hands. Hopefully you guys got a quick chuckle out of it. If not, I'll work on it better next time, alright? Now, Nishi put out a banlist prediction yesterday, and I'm doing mine here today. We're pushing out 2 banlist predictions because he and I are different people. We have differing opinions. He's more of a market-savvy guy. He knows what works for the market, whereas I'm more of a gameplay kind of guy, and I prefer to go into the nitty-gritty and find out what I enjoy, what works, what doesn't work, and what's broken in the game. So that's kind of where we kind of take different stance. Sometimes there's a bit of overlap, but clearly my list is going to be better than his, and you guys can go ahead and compare the two and see which one's better. But also we plan on doing an episode of Banworthy where we discuss, well, both our lists. I haven't checked out his list yet, so I'll check it out after I look at this video. And also in that video, we're going to be discussing the pros and cons of actually issuing out a ban list in June. Like, there's probably some things that you probably don't want to hear about it. Like, what if they actually do choose to hit some of the cards that you have purchased recently? I mean, you got no playtime, but why would they hit it? So we're going to even look into some of the potential reasons for that in that video. Of course, we'll also be logical of like why they probably shouldn't even hit anything at all. But anyways, yeah, if you guys want to check out that video, make sure you guys hit subscribe, ding the notification bell to stay up to date when that video goes live. Back to the prediction now. So let's start with the prediction of the timing of this ban list. There's 2 predictions here. If they do give us a ban list, it's probably going to be announced probably early next week so that they have time, just like the last ban list. So that would be a timing prediction. But if they choose to actually postpone the ban list altogether, then I would actually say that that news is going to come out later because there's a lot more coordination that they're going to need to do to actually postpone the list. Like, there's probably a lot of logistics in the back. They have to communicate between KDE-EU and KDE-US, and just kind of go with a back and forth, and probably talk with Japan as well, whether or not they're going to postpone the list on one side or not. So that's my prediction on timing. Now let's go into like ban list and how I'm approaching the ban list prediction, since this is still a prediction video. Typically a ban list is here to refresh the balance of the game, quote unquote, refresh the balance of the game, not actually balance the game, boost the appeal of upcoming products. They probably would remove elements of the game that would be deemed not fun by a majority of players, and ultimately to keep the player base still playing and perhaps suck in some of the older players, make sure they come back. The last point is especially important in this particular ban list prediction because it's most important for them to keep the game relevant and on the minds of players for the time that we actually return back to the game. So players have been purchasing a lot of cards lately, and even though they got 0 sanctioned playtime, so let's be real here, cards have a lifespan, probably not going to get touched in most cases for anything that's new or perhaps has less than 1 month of sanctioned playtime. So Dual Overload and Secret Slayer's debut cards, anything that's new from those sets, won't get touched. Let's just be fair here. It's just they never got a chance to play it unless they really hate Christian Clifford Brax. If they hate that card, then they'll get rid of it like altogether. Maybe TCG and OCG will be different again, where they have one broken card and we don't have the broken card. Once again, I don't know, we could get kicked back into the Stone Age in that case. But in terms of anything that offers consistency, impact, or combo pieces, those can still be affected, and overall, like old cards, they're still fair game. And therefore, that's how they can still tune the way that we play the game without affecting the product that they've released. And with that being said and out of the way, let's jump into stuff that are potentially going to be hit. Starting with my ban prediction, let's start off with Jet Synchron. I don't think this is a surprise to anyone. You might be wondering why am I not putting Olion in here. It's because Olion is not a level 1. Right now there's a lot of just single card Jet Synchron combos where you just summon out Jet Synchron and you can just link it all the way up into Christian Clifford Brax by itself, which is, yeah, I know that's what people do right now, and then just push forward. You can't really do that with an O-line because O-line's not level 1. You can't use a Link Rebo to do it. And on top of that, if you look at the Eldritch Synchro builds, you know that the Jet Synchron is like they play triple tuning just to dig out one of the 3 copies of Jet Synchron. You could put Jet Synchron at 1, but that probably still wouldn't affect them very much. As long as they still have access to tuning, it's still going to happen. And the Jet Synchron combos basically remove most combo diversity. All combo decks right now at the highest tier level, they're all basically based off of using Jet Synchron and Christian Clifford Brax. Since Clifford Brax is in Dual Overload, we're probably not going to touch that at all. It's just how it is. It gets no play time. Got to give us some play time, or else there'd be no confidence in buying your product, and people have been buying your product, and that's why that's probably gotta go. The one card is right here. People will still be able to do the combos with different types of tuners, but usually using the other types of tuners, you're either playing a very specific deck type, or it will cost you more to actually execute some of these combos. We'll wait till people find out new combos again, which is fine, but right now everything's like, oh, going to Crystal Hal Clifford Barracks and going to Link Cross and do all my fancy schmancy combos, maybe make a Mecha, a Phantom Beast, or Rorodon, and all the combos are stemming from there and leading to like VFD plays, double negate plays, I guess 4 draw plays. There's just a lot of plays coming from this one card, and I think this is the one card that needs to go. We still have Despot, right guys? We can still play with the Despot. All right, next up we have this Dragon Buster Sword, and Dragon Buster Sword, this card just locks people off from being able to play. As long as you're being able to play a dark, it turns the game into basically a game of chance. If you don't open with something that can break this particular back row, you're stuck not being able to summon out of your extra deck. And you gotta look at the not just the top tier decks. I know that a lot of top tier decks, they have like a balance between control decks that don't rely on the extra deck and those that do rely on the extra deck. But if you look at the tiers below that, a lot more decks rely on the extra deck to actually get their chance to play. And with that being said, I think your best bet is to actually take this one out, and people will have to have their options open, because the last thing you want is people going back into the game being completely shut out because they didn't open with like their Cosmic Cyclone, because if they're doing this with like an Orcust deck, they probably have a Dingirsu in the front holding the board, and then it's gonna take up 3 cards to destroy it, so you need Cosmic to do it, and it's just a lot harder. And all decks still have access to this thanks to Union Carry, and since Union Carry is part of a Dual Overload, probably not gonna get touched. Next I have True King of All Calamities, again stemming from Jet Synchron, with the new Croco Dragon. It's pretty easy access. You can Trish Summon and then Croco Dragon them, they'll draw 1, and then you can lock your opponent out. It's not very fun overall. Like any type of lockdown, I'm not a big fan of. I know that Zexal, of course the Numeron deck is a thing coming up, but we'll deal with it when we get there. There's probably another balance before we even get there, so might as well not, damage anything right now. But yeah, VFD is probably no fun. It also stems from Jet Synchron, like 1 and 1.5 card combos. It's no good, man. Let's just not lock people out before we get the chance to play. Remember, if you're gonna be going back into the game, the last thing you want people to feel like is they can't play the game again. Now we have Block Dragon in limited. Yeah, he could have been up there because yeah, it is a massive plus. He's not once per turn. He's got basically everything going for him. I wouldn't be surprised if he got banned, but I would say at the very least limit him down to 1. In my personal experience playing against people playing Adamancipator and also being an Adamancipator myself, Block Dragon is very powerful. I'm not gonna lie. You send him to the graveyard, you get to dig 3 cards, and usually you can use all 3 cards. And you can just push your combo. Adamancipator is a combo extension based deck. But that being said, we're just going to put it down to 1 to push it back into the time where, I guess this is about like a month ago, where people only played 1 copy, and it was good enough at the time. But now that people play 3, they often have it in their hand and always have some way for them to extend and dump it out onto the field, make it IP Masquerena, and then draw 3, well not draw it, but add 3 cards to their hand and keep pushing. In that case, putting it down to 1 and then opening it for counterplay, say 1 DD Crow is enough to turn it off entirely. It makes the deck a lot more manageable. And Adamancipator, they do run out of gas quite quickly if you're playing Link based. You know you still have a couple boss monsters in there, and synchroing is pretty easy. You only have about 4 synchros in there. But that being said, I think the deck becomes a lot more manageable once you get rid of that Block Dragon. I think people still deserve a fighting chance with their high tier decks because, yeah, it is still a deck that debuted in Secret Slayers, and I don't think it's time to kind of take away their strongest combos just yet. That's why I'm putting it at 1, just to be reasonable, because if you take away Block Dragon, it will, I don't know, people will just be like, oh my god, Adamancipators, they lost like some of their best cards. Like, what's the point of keep playing the deck? I don't think that delivering that feeling is not the right time just yet. Then next up we have Fossil Dig. Yes, Fossil Dig is a very powerful card to search. With dinosaurs, you have more searches than that. Now you also have the copy of Animadorned, what's his name? Animadorned Archosaur. and that card is easily fetchable with your triple Miscellaneousaurus, and you can pop a Baby Ceratosaurus and you just get a full wombo combo off of this, and that consistency level is really, really high, and I think Dinosaurs is still one of, probably, if not one of the best decks out there right now. I know that tournaments are currently dominated by Adamantispators and Eldritch, but I would not sleep on Dinosaurs. I think we're just waiting for the right dinosaur player just to like stomp on everyone. So Fossil Dig is probably one of the cards I'm looking at, like, oh, it's not once per turn, you can search multiple cards, really high range of stuff you can search, and can perhaps even search out one card combos out. That's why I'm putting this one at 1, just to mess with the consistency a little bit. And that's basically all the hits I have. I don't think there's anything else I can really dive deep. Like Eldritch, what do you hit in Eldritch? You hit like Invoked. If you hit Invoked, you have like a lot of collateral damage. You just damage it across the board. And I don't think you want to push away your player base just yet, especially when the people aren't getting that play time. On to the release predictions. This is just my guess here because I don't really have any more hits to talk about. In terms of release, they can actually bring a lot of more players back in. And you guys might not agree with it. You guys might consider this as a wish list, but I'll give you guys my reasoning behind each one. I could be completely wrong on these, but these are probably some of the ones that are easier to talk about. Starting off with Fairy Tale Snow. OCG already has this one at like 3. To them, it's like, whatever, it's a free card, it's a good card, but for us, we have it banned. I think can come back to 1 at the very least. Look at the decks that it used to support, which made it really, really strong. First of all, it was like in January 2019, it was BA really just capitalized on this card completely by playing the Sekka's Light build. Sekka's Light is at 1, and most BA builds are kind of back into just spamming the boards again. I know this one offers you additional body to link off. That was one of the key things that it did. And on top of that, since we're no longer Master Rule 4, booking a monster down in the extra monster zone that isn't a link, that doesn't really affect your strategies as much anymore. So with that in mind, Snow definitely lost a bit of its charm, but that doesn't mean it's a bad card. It's still a very powerful card that offers you like a very fast Book of Moon. Don't forget, DD Crow is also very popular currently in the format, which makes it so you'll have to banish a lot of cards to actually summon out that Snow, which I think is fair. That's why Fairy Tale Snow will offer someone the ability to play a quick Book of Moon that's well, that's always accessible in your graveyard. I think it's fair, and it's a decent strategy to actually have to use to break boards. Next, we have Windups and Mighty Carrier. That's been on the ban list for some time now. I don't know why it's still on the ban list. You can give Windup a bone for sure, because you can actually draw those players back in, and I think it's fine. You've been taking the Windup cards off of the ban list slowly. This is the one last card that's left on there. Don't put it to 3 because you know you're just gonna get Windup loop all over again, and that loop is not fun. And with Avarice at 3, you're likely going to see like, oh, do the whole Windup loop and just kill someone. But since you don't have 3 carriers, it's not that big of an issue. Or you can just take a Hunter. You can just preemptively ban Hunter, give us back Zen Mighty Carrier. Riguchi on that one. But it would be nice to actually see another variant of combos to come back, since Windup is actually, I think it's just weaker Adamantispators to like in that type of comparison. Now onto the 2s. Let's bring back some of the, I guess, the aggro style control, the ones that just control the board through big beat sticks. First of all, we have Pantheism, and we also have ABC Dragon Buster. Getting ABC Dragon Buster out of the way is probably there to boost Union Carrier. Not Union Carrier. It's Union Carrier and Union Driver. Both of those cards just have major impact, I would say, and it's really nice to give them the boost. And besides, they're also reprinting ABC Dragon Buster. I don't see a reason why they would actually reprint the card unless they're going to give them more support. And I feel like Konami has been doing this thing where they control the amount of combo decks available just so that the format is a little bit more manageable. And ABC Dragon Buster, they took it out initially. It seems like they're going to slowly give it back, and that's why it's in the upcoming OTS pack. And as for Pantheism, Monarchs, they have a strong fan base, and if they want to pull Monarchs players back, Monarch players have been waiting for Pantheism for some time now. And in fact, we've been getting more and more releases of the Monarch cards, and this is the one of the key cards that's preventing them from doing too much. I know that giving Monarchs a lot to play eventually leads back into like domain lock, and domain lock is very painful. It's basically you're under Artifact Scythe permanently until you get rid of the Monarch. That's my only concern. If that's not the biggest issue, I mean, we have Eldritch, which can remove the card. There's other decks that can handle it, then maybe. But I know that a lot of combo decks will not be able to break it. Like, they run a whole deck full of weenies, and telling someone to beat over like a 2800 beat stick that you have to beat over twice is not the easiest thing. I have a little bit of reserve, but I can see that, oh, they want to draw in the Monarch player base. Then give them a second Pantheism to play with. Test the waters. You know how Konami used to do, like, oh, we'll put it to 1, then we'll put it to 2, then we'll put it to 3 because it had no impact. This one probably will have some level of impact, but that's also going to cause someone to not run an extra deck, and they're going to run a ton of Floodgates. Don't forget, our Floodgate options are just through the roof right now. And I guess the last one would be, I guess, Dynamite Knight. They lost their Draconic Diagram. I don't see why you have to hit this particular card anymore. It's not like you're giving them back a masterpiece. Giving them 3 Dynamite Knight, I get that we might see some, I've seen some hybrid builds with Dragma. That'd be actually kind of nice to see, because Dragma is a control-based deck anyway, and I know that they're pretty quick, and they do target against someone playing with their extra deck, which is also fairly nice. But it also requires people to play the extra deck because you will need to launch stuff into the graveyard to pop cards. True Draco players will definitely be a lot happier because they lost so much already. It's kind of like Sky Strikers. They gave back, basically, the Kagari line is completely released, but they took away their Engage. This one would be like, they take away their Diagram, but here's your Dynamite Knight back. And so that you don't leave the game forever. Anyways, that's my prediction line. Does it make sense to you guys? Am I overthinking this? Am I releasing too many cards? Do you think there just won't be a ban list? Leave your comments down in the comment section below. Some people are saying, oh, Denlong can come back. Oh, what about Broad Bowl? Yeah, I'm not gonna touch on Broad Bowl just yet because that's really crazy for Zodiac players, getting that additional search. What about Rapier? Can we put Rat at 2 so that they can get 1 additional body? Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. They can already go pretty wild with what they have so far, and definitely nothing for Zoo, I would say, unless they want another Zoo format. And in that case, give us back Maxi. Anyways, that's all I got for this video, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. But if you guys disagree with me, feel free to hit the thumbs down. It's part of this discussion. It's part of our relationship here. And also, stay tuned for the upcoming ban-worthy talk, where we talk about whether or not it's even good for business, where you should release a ban list for June. So stay tuned for that. Or unless by the time they release that video, they already released the ban list, then that's a different story. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you guys leave a comment down in the comment section. I'll see you soon.